Russian Constructivism. Russian Constructivism was an influential art and architectural movement that emerged in Russia during the early 20th century, particularly in the aftermath of the Russian Revolution of 1917. It was a part of the larger constructivist movement, which also had manifestations in other fields such as literature, graphic design, and industrial design. Russian constructivism is often associated with the avant-garde and is characterized by its emphasis on functionalism, geometric shapes, and the idea of art serving a social purpose. Russian constructivism emerged in the turbulent political and social climate following the Russian Revolution of 1917. The movement was closely tied to the ideals of the Bolshevik government and sought to create art and architecture that reflected the new socialist society. One of the fundamental principles of constructivism was the idea that art and architecture should have a practical, functional purpose. Constructivists rejected traditional, decorative forms in favor of designs that served a utilitarian or social function. Constructivist art often featured geometric shapes, bold lines, and a reduction of forms to their most basic elements. Artists like Kazimir Malevich, a key figure in the movement, explored non-representational art through his creation of suprematism, an abstract style that focused on basic geometric shapes and a limited color palette. Constructivist artists and architects embraced industrial materials such as steel, glass, and concrete. They believed that these materials were more suited to the needs of a modern, industrialized society. In architecture, Vladimir Tatlin, a central figure in the Russian constructivist movement, had a significant impact on the design of buildings. His monument to the Third International, also known as Tatlin's Tower, was a groundbreaking architectural design that embodied the spirit of the movement. Although the tower was never constructed, it remains a symbol of avant-garde aspirations. Lissitzky was another influential artist associated with Russian constructivism. He contributed significantly to the movement through his work in graphic design, photography, and typography. Lissitzky's Proun series, a combination of painting and architecture, exemplified his exploration of abstract, geometric forms. Constructivism extended beyond traditional art forms to include agitational propaganda, agitprop, and applied arts. Artists and designers worked on posters, book covers, and other visual materials to communicate the ideals of the new socialist state. Constructivism had an impact beyond its borders. The emphasis on functionality, simplicity, and the use of industrial materials can be seen in the modernist architecture and design movements that followed. The movement's principles influenced artists and designers worldwide and contributed to the development of modernist movements in Europe and America.